everyone, I'm Ayşe Gülistan and this is Invest in Turkey Talks. So what are we going to do throughout these series? We'll be talking everything related to investment, from FDI inflows to entrepreneurship, the investment infrastructure in Turkey, and trends and challenges that sectors may face in the near future. Today, I'm joined by the Chairman and CEO of Yanmar Agribusiness, Mustafa Kemal Erdoğan Shoshi. Kemal, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Now, before we get talking about business, it's not every day that you meet someone from a Turkish and Japanese background, right? And the name speaks for itself as well. So can you tell us a bit about this mixed race background that you have?
Yeah, actually, I have quite a long name, and my family name Erdoğan is my father's, and the family name Shoshi is my mother's, which means that my mom is Japanese and my dad is Turkish. Actually, I was born and grew up in Turkey, Istanbul. My dad is a shipbuilding engineer and my mom is a Japanese teacher. So that is, in short, my background.
And they meet in Istanbul?
Actually, my dad, he got the internship program in Japan, maybe like 45 years ago. At that time, he met my mom as a Japanese teacher. And then they get married and come back to Istanbul.
I think it's the first time that I've met someone from, I mean, you meet a lot of people from mixed backgrounds, but the first time that I've met someone from a Turkish and Japanese. I've been to Japan, so I can see how we have similar traits, but we're also very different from each other. So how has this background, this heritage, affected your professional life, do you think?
Actually, since I lived and grew up in Istanbul, of course, I got more like Turkish language and more Turkish culture, and all my relatives were more Turkish. But I had the chance of visiting Japan every summer holiday. And my parents, my grandparents in Japan and my cousins, I had the chance to meet with them every summertime so that I can also make more language Japanese experience with my relatives in Japan. That actually I could grow up together, not only Turkish but also Japanese. I could bring it together, the both nations.
So yeah, you had the best of both sides, I guess it's fair to put it that way. So. And Kemal, before we come on to Yanmar, what were you doing before you joined the company? Because I'm aware that you were very active as a student in terms of bridging, obviously with the background that you come from, bridging the two nations together and doing a lot of NGO work in that sense. So what were you doing before you joined Yanmar?
Actually, as I told you, I grew up in Istanbul, and my university graduate was in Middle East Technical University in Ankara. I established my group called Turkish Japanese Culture Group. At that time, I tried to, teach the people, teach my colleagues, the students, more about Japanese culture. At that time, I actually very much enjoyment to teach and to be like a bridge between Turkish and Japanese culture. And after my graduation, I actually moved to Germany. And in Germany, I used to work as an automotive engineer. And after Germany, I moved to Belgium. And in Belgium, I used to work for a company for trading and investments. And I get actually for more than 8 or 7 years of the experience working such a trading company. And I had a good network and good investment experiences outside of Turkey. But until 2015, I used to be working outside of Turkey. But then I actually decided to come back to Turkey to, contribute for Turkish economy among all of my learnings outside of Turkey and all of my network I can utilize to contribute to Turkish economy. And then I got the chance to meet Yanmar. At that time, Yanmar didn't have any office in Turkey yet. And I was actually hired by Yanmar head office in Osaka to establish the Yanmar Turkey office. And actually, after only 3 months, I got hired by Yanmar Holdings in 2016. I already established the Yanmar Turkey first office 8 years ago, and that was the beginning of Yanmar's story.
I was going to just ask you about how you led the venture to establish Yanmar Türkiye. How did you persuade the company and what was the need for it? Why did Yanmar need Yanmar Türkiye as well?
Basically, Yanmar was known in Turkey already in terms of marine business, but Yanmar is the best known company in Asia and Japan, especially for the agriculture business. But unfortunately, in Turkey, Yanmar didn't have any office and any dealer at all at that time. Then I tried to explain to the Yanmar Holding management that we need to come as Yanmar, not as with the dealers, that establish our own factory and own company. So that we can touch the end customers as well. Because Turkey is a number 4 biggest market in terms of the tractor sector, and we have to be existence in Turkey. That was the beginning. Of course, but in order to do that, I had done a lot of researches and I had done a lot of communication with the local players. Then I got convinced the Yanmar Holding Management finally. Then in 2017, after 1 year, we established our factory in Izmir for the agriculture business.
And what are Yanmar's global operations and how are they reflected in Turkey specifically?
Yanmar is actually more than 110 years old company, and Yanmar core business was and is always the engine itself. And all other businesses actually surrounding the engine business, such as agriculture, construction machinery, engine and transmission, and marine. And in Turkey, we are taking care of all of these business units, and some of them are taken care by dealers. But agriculture especially, we are taking care of by ourselves, and we are assembling our tractors in Izmir right now, and we are distributing our tractors through our valuable dealers in Turkey.
Kemal, what would you say if you were to outline a specific sector that Yanmar Türkiye is the most powerful, the most strongest in? What would you say? Because I know that you're focusing, obviously, the CEO of Yanmar Agribusiness. So what would you have to say about that sector in Turkey in specific?
As I explained, Yanmar Türkiye has been established officially in 2017. And our first operation was with the agricultural business, which includes tractor, which includes equipments, attachments. That was the beginning of our history. But on the other hand, not only agriculture, when I established Yanmar Turkey, we also get a big project called Istanbul City Hospital, Çam and Sakura. At that project, as Yanmar Turkey, we delivered all of the generator system and energy infrastructure. Because Yanmar is also very pioneer and very important company as a pioneer for the cogeneration systems, also energy solutions. Not limited to energy and agriculture, but also we in Yanmar Turkey are also taking care of construction machinery rental business over internet, and which is actually a project only taken care by Yanmar Turkey with the support of Yanmar head office. Actually, this kind of operations was quite important to make Yanmar Turkey one of the crucial company for all the Yanmar Group to support all the other Yanmar Group organizations.
And this brings me on to questions I have specifically focused on what Yanmar has future plans for Turkey. And as you're aware, the Investment Office have recently launched their 2024-2028 FDI strategy. And in this, we see differences from previous years where the country is more focused on bringing in, clean investment, sustainable investment, and investment that's going to increase Turkey's integration into GVCs. So in terms of Yanmar, is there any plan maybe for the future in terms of increasing the investment in Turkey?
First of all, Yanmar has a very clear strategy, and actually our strategy is not because of the current trend to become more sustainable or to make the carbon zero. First of all, the Japanese government, they put for all the big companies to achieve carbon zero emission until 2050. And the Yanmar, we have also the exact same strategy, and we are following that every year and very carefully. But even before this strategy has been announced by the government and by Yanmar Group, more than 10 years ago, we have put our slogan, a sustainable future. Actually, this is our motto, and this is our management put such a motto and target more than 10 years ago, because they have such a strong forecast what will happen in the world. Because we are engine manufacturing company, that's the reason why actually we are also emitting carbon through our engines. But on the other hand, we have a huge R&D project to reduce those emissions globally, which also includes hydrogen engine technology in the future. This is in terms of the products. But on the other hand, in our factories all around the world, we have a clear target how to achieve this carbon zero targets. In Yanmar Group, globally, we have actually more than 100 companies and offices, and including also factories. And all of these offices, we are right now following up and monitoring all of the consumptions, even the water, even the electricity, and also we are calculating our CO2 emission level. And every month these data are reported to the high management, and from the high management side we are trying to bring up new targets and new activity to reduce those all the consumption and including the CO2 emission level. And Turkey has also very much impact to this management system, because in Turkey we have taken care of and we have started some actions and created new projects how to reduce those emission levels. And that also became such a good example for also other companies outside of Turkey in Yanmar Group.
In addition to the sustainability cause that you have, we're aware that Yanmar Türkiye is going to establish an R&D centre in Turkey. I've got two questions about this. First, why do you think it's important? Because we're seeing an increasing number of global companies that are active in Turkey establishing these kind of centres and holding R&D in the country. Why do you think it's important to have that in terms of the benefits that it has for the company, but also for the people in the country that it operates in? And secondly, why Turkey? Why do you think Turkey is a good place to hold such an operation?
First of all, as I told you, before establishment of Yanmar Turkey, the Turkey region was taken care by Yanmar Netherlands and Yanmar Europe. After establishment of Yanmar Turkey, we have taken care of all the sales, after sales, including all logistic operation in Turkey. And after the successful operation within Turkey territory, Yanmar Turkey get also the right to sell agricultural products surrounding countries of Turkey, including the Balkans, more Central Asia. And now, after my assignment to Yanmar Agribusiness Presidency, I also given the operation of African continent to the Yanmar Turkey as well. So that I really want to bring Turkey's importance for all Yanmar Group operations. And we believe that Turkey is a very good spot for Yanmar Group to expand our R&D activities as well, because not only young population, not only quite powerful labor force, but also in Turkey we have several climates and a lot of agricultural crops production as well. And that's the reason why we can test and we can engineer and bring up new solutions in Turkey for all European and African and Central Asia region. This is actually quite unique place, and we don't have such country except Turkey to make such testing and some engineering possible. I think that's a very important matter, and that's the reason why for Yanmar Agriculture, for Yanmar Agribusiness, we would like to expand the R&D activity in Turkey.
And obviously you can take advantage of the young and educated population that we're very proud of. Obviously, you being someone that's been educated in Turkey as well and working for a global company, I mean, it's something that makes, when people hear about successful stories like yourself, work educated in Turkey and then going and working for a global company, it kind of adds to that vision that sometimes people can lose the motivation. So, I mean, again, it's great to see what you've been up to. Now, finally, Kemal, my final question is going to be more general. You know Turkey very well, you know Japan very well, not only because of the cultures that you were brought up in, but also because you work for a company that's got its headquarters in Japan but operates in Turkey. What would you say, what can you say about the potential future economic relations and the development? What kind of possibility is there between the two countries to kind of increase to what's already there?
As you mentioned, since I have two nations in my blood, and I used to be always like a connection bridge over Turkey and Japan. And I believe and I really want to do it until end of my life. And so far, I also try to contribute all of the economical relation between Japan and Turkey. And as of this year, 100-year anniversary is being celebrated. Turkey-Japan's relation starts. So far, but I think this relation has much more potential, but that potential has not been used yet. There were a lot of unfortunate situations in Turkey and in our region, and we still have some wars and incidents are going on. And therefore, Japanese companies, big companies, has been a little bit hesitating to come to Turkey and make some new investment. But as Yanmar, because of myself, I want to always contribute to Turkish economy, and that's the reason why Yanmar has made already big investment in Turkey to expand the business in this region. And as Yanmar, we promised that we would be like to increase our investment and our operation, because there are so many new potentials we can create in Turkey, but also together with Turkish labor force, we can expand our activities all around this region. I think this is, I can only say from Yanmar side, but as Mustafa Kemal, I would like to be contributing not only for Yanmar, but all the relation. That's the reason why I will be continuing to make more speeches like this, and I would like to make conferences to the Japanese investors, Japanese companies, how Turkey is important for Japan as well. I think this is a very important fact, and that's I can promise hereby.
And I think we can say that if you ever do get together with Japanese investors that come to Turkey, Turkish people trust Japanese people on a different level, okay? If Japanese people are involved in the construction or if it's something to do with technology, there's always a different sense of trust, which obviously proves to the work that they've done, and the reflections of that. Chamsukura is a very good example of that. But, there is an increasing level of sympathy and trust towards Japanese people. And obviously, as the investment office, we would like to see increasing levels of investment from that side of the world as well.
Not only limited that Japanese investors needs to be coming to Turkey and bring more business to Turkey, but also from Turkey to Japan, as Yanmar, we have opened the window to bring agricultural machinery, for example. And that was also very important point of my life. When I bring the first Turkish agricultural equipments to Japanese farmers were very happy to use the Turkish machines because most of them, in Japan, the farmers, they know that Turkey is an agriculture country. And therefore, they trust Turkish machinery industry and their quality. And it's really happened. And as of today, we are selling more than 1,000 units per year from Turkish manufacturers to the Japanese, but not limited to Japan only, but also Thailand, Korea, other Far East Asian countries. But especially in Japan, when the farmers use the Turkish machines and they become happy and they say they trust Turkish quality, I was really so happy. That both sides, we have a big potential. And I will, of course, try to increase and expand this collaboration more and more.
Well, we look forward to seeing the work that you do and obviously how that contributes to developing relations between the two countries. But thank you for today. It's been great.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for me.
In today's episode with Mustafa Kemal Erdoğan Shoshi, we talk about Yanmar's global operations and how they're reflected in Turkey. Yanmar's going to open an R&D centre in Turkey, and there are areas of cooperation that can be further developed between the two countries. Kemal's Turkish and Japanese background gives him the ability to understand how both countries work, and we look forward to seeing how his work contributes to bilateral relations in the future. You can find our podcast on all streaming platforms, and for more updates and information, follow Invest in Turkey on social media. Stay tuned for more episodes where we'll be talking more about investment in Turkey.